Everybody, peace up, A-Town down. Joseph R. Wheeler the third. What's happening, y'all? Yo, what is really going on? How y'all doing? Let me get my settings right. Can't be on this live without the beauty of the block. You know what I'm saying? Keep all the nonsense at bay. All right, so it is so hot outside. It is for real. It's 94 degrees, y'all. I said 94 degrees, may as well be 100 already. If it were 100, it'd be 104. You see how I did that? You always had about 4 or 5 degrees. That's how you know what temperature it really is outside. Yeah. It's basically 100 degrees. Just letting this air get to me, you know what I'm saying? Let it get to me, making sure it's on the phone so it don't go off, because I know it will if it get a little bit hot. Trying to keep it covered. Got my little system. Y'all see me adjusting my ONYXCON little gator, neck gator. All my anglers know what I'm talking about. That'll keep you cool. So anyway, maybe I should put my hat over it too, just completely make sure it is right. I don't want no issues, you know what I'm saying? I don't want no, your phone is too hot. But man, if you don't get out of here, we got business. We gotta make this content. We gotta talk to the people. We gotta speak on what's going on. We gotta make it happen. Other folk pretending, we making it regular. It's a regular daily occurrence. Yeah, we might have to do it like that, y'all. I just want to make sure this thing is cool at all times, because if it ain't, it's gonna trip. It's gonna go off. I know it will. It's too hot. It's too darn hot. Oh my goodness. A lot going on. Too much going on. You know, I will say this, y'all. I have a friend. Let me say it like that. I have a friend. And you know, just when folk are going through things, you realize it's amazing how much can happen in a day. Like, you got one energy of somebody, you know, going through something, and then another energy of somebody celebrating a birthday. Shout out to Mr. Rise Up. Okay, if you're a regular ONYXCON fan, you know who that is, because they got ONYXCON history here. That's one of my homeboys that we used to do a thing called ONYXCON Fitness Sports Talk, because the ONYXCON Fitness is another one of the elements, the fitness, mind, body, and soul. And we would cover sports, and we did like a sports show, commentator show. He was the main commentator. You know, I'm the host, but he the co-host with the co-most, because he had the most as far as all the sports details and all the, you know, who's winning, who's not gonna win. His picks are incredible. He do fantasy football and all that, and he in the top leagues and all that stuff. He like that with it, you know what I mean? And we would have a lot of fun on that show. Unfortunately, we didn't keep it going. If anybody ever saw that show, you know what I'm talking about. Put a thumbs up, but also hit the comments. Let me know what you love most about it, because there's a possibility we could bring it back. I couldn't guarantee that my homie would be on the show, but I can guarantee that he would at least be a guest regularly whenever he have time. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of schedules and a whole bunch of stuff like that. But hey, it's his birthday. I just wanted to shout him out because it crossed my mind. You know, shout out to the homie. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, my brother, and many more. You know what I'm saying? So as I say, when one person's celebrating, I mean, somebody else could be going through grief and stuff. And I kind of had a situation like that with somebody, and you know, shout out to them if they see this. Just know you all on my mind, for real, big time. So, you know, one thing I've learned about life, that when that ish hits, you know, from the good times to the other times, one thing I have learned, one thing I try to share with people, because I want them to say the same thing to me when I need to hear it. Do not fall, I repeat, do not fall into any depression, no matter how crazy it seems to be when you done set goals, when you were starting to build, when things were starting to happen, and then all of a sudden something comes and seems like it just knock it all away, tear it all down. Guess what? Guess what? You gotta know, if you got anybody in your life, like I've had people in my life do this for me, and I'm doing this for people in my life when they going through stuff like that. And they tell you, for real, they tell you it's gonna be all right, or they tell you keep going no matter what, that on the other side of that door of all this is your glory. Keep going. I'm saying that to myself as I say this, to anybody need to hear it. Because I know from experience, you can fall into depression and not even know you're depressed. That's the thing about depression. You don't even know you're depressed. Only other people around you can tell. Like, damn, your patterns done changed. You ain't doing what you used to do. You're not enthusiastic about nothing. You're not motivated about nothing. You know, you're eating bad. You're sleeping bad. You know, all your different things that matter the most are off. But when you know, or somebody around you knows that, and can tell you, yo, I'm not gonna let you fall off. Not gonna let you fall off. You know? They might not even be able to kick in fully, you know, with resources on every level. You know, some first thing people go to in this capitalist mind state is, you know, how much somebody can help you with money. Yeah, we all need that. We got to deal with it in the matrix. But guess what? What do I always say here? Again, this is the question. This is the pop quiz for all my real ones. You know, all my people who really support this channel and know the gospel of ONYXCON. You see what I'm saying? You got the elements, which are all the different things we cover. Then you got the gospel of ONYXCON. These proverbs, these sayings, these words of wisdom you can live by and live your best art life. Okay? Your best creative existence, period. Whether you're an artist or not. You don't have to be an artist to live the art life. You do have to appreciate the arts. There ain't no way around that. You can't be like, I don't care about no art. Then that's the most ignorant statement you can make, because you don't know what art is. Because everybody needs art, utilizes art, and is living for art whether they realize it or not. Past survival, past food, clothing, shelter, and basic necessities is imagination, inspiration for living. Somebody say, man, I need a vacation. What? They'll say, oh man, you know, I'm on vacation. I'm gonna go straight to that place where there's a war going on right now, because I want to see ground zero and blown up bodies and dead folk and fire and brimstone. Don't nobody say that. They say, I'm going to a beach with beauty. I'm going to a town that's peaceful for the most part. It may not be perfect, but for whatever percentage over at least 50, but more than likely they're looking for 60 and up percentage of peace, tranquility, beauty, glorious surroundings, nice people, friendly locals. That's what people vacation for. And they go for the arts. You know what I'm saying? They go for the art. So, you know, for my people who understand that and live this art life, I'm just saying, when you got people in your life who understand what's really important, and they can bring some of that to you, they can bring something creative to you to keep your spirits up. They can do something creative for you to keep your spirits up. You know, everything from, because, you know, here's the other thing that a lot of people don't realize. I talked about this all the time, more of the gospel of ONYXCON, okay? There's a thing known as what we could say is like, I always say this is the definition, the true definition of the arts. The arts are any and all creative expressions that appeal to, ignite, stimulate, inspire through your senses. And that's all of your senses. Your touch, sight, smell, taste, hearing, and that right there, that third eye. Your soul, your actual essence, your key, your car. Come on. That right there, that's the sixth sense all the way through to the sixth. Anything that ignites that, activates it. Whether you don't like what it is or not. You don't have to like all art. People get that confused. They think, you know, art has to always be pleasing. No, that's not the definition of art. No. Not all art is gonna make you feel good. Some art gonna give you some real uncomfortable truths. You're gonna read something somebody wrote. Greatest literature ever written. And what does it say? You know, all of it says something different. But did it stimulate you? Did it open up your mind? Did it wake you up? Did it make you realize that the phrase is true? At the beginning of that book that I had to read when I was in high school, because I admit the damn book was so long and convoluted, you know, well written but convoluted, that it was one of them books that I went and got the cliff notes. And see, this let you know this is when you tell your age. Only folk who about my age even know what the hell cliff notes are anymore. You had to go to the store, to the bookstore, go to that one little shelf where they had them yellow and black and white books, mostly yellow and black. That was the format of the graphic design on the books, and it was called Cliff Notes. And it would give you all the key points of any book that was mandatory reading in every standardized English class in the nation back in the day. So if you didn't have time, or you knew you wasn't a fast reader like me, I'm not a fast reader. Here's my problem, it still is when it comes to reading novels and stuff. Unless, I can't have no timeline on it if I'm gonna sit down and try and read a novel. First of all, that kind of reading generally reminds me of how tired I might be in a day, because by the time I get around to sitting to do something like that, it's gonna put me to sleep. Quite frankly, right? Now some of y'all read for that reason. Y'all love books near your bed because that's what you do. You like, I read my novel and I go to bed to it. Fine. Maybe I'll get to that. I ain't there yet. But I never was, is my point. I'm a slow reader, not because I don't read. I read a lot. I read slow because I imagine everything. I get so into the details, I'm enjoying the way the movie looks so much, it's hard to flip a page, because after I read it one time, I might go back, oh, wait a minute, they said what now? Oh my gosh, right? But in A Tale of Two Cities, the opening line was, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. They may have said worst first, I can't remember. But it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. That is a proverb, that is a haiku, okay, in poetry. The short poem with just a few words that hit so much, that one line, that is a haiku. The Japanese tradition of haiku, okay? Short poetry that makes dynamic impact. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Do you hear that? Do you understand the levels of what that is really saying when you apply that to now, to then, to damn near any time in human existence, because of all the stuff that we be going through? You could have just had immeasurable joy, and then suddenly something reminds you that it's a shit fest out here. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. That's some heavy, that's some heavy. That's some live with it, live for it, understand it, and never be put off. That's what I get from that. You keep that in mind, you always balance. You always doing the yin and the yang. You ain't got to worry about getting too far on one, because you know the other one got to swing back the other way. The pendulum can't keep you over in the doldrum forever, ever. But most importantly, what I've learned, or what I try to keep in mind, because I'll tell you, it's hard, y'all. It's hard. It's hard. I try to keep it in mind that this too shall pass. Another great phrase. All right? This too shall pass. Whatever it is. Yesterday was a tornado and a hurricane and a thunder. What's gotten me about my life, watching weather patterns. That's why I love weather so much. It's so sunny and beautiful and still cloudy, like it could rain anytime, like it's been for the past month. But it's sultry hot out here. And just days ago when it was raining hard and gloomy and all of that, on days like that, you almost can't believe you're on the same planet as the way it looks right now when it's sunny. You're like, is this even the same place, man? Like, I'm in the same place I was yesterday, but it looks like an alternate universe. In a way, on deeper ways of thinking, yeah, it kind of is, but no. Same place, different time. Different circumstances. Key word is different. It will change. Stay malleable. Stay adjustable. Stay ready for whatever. Know that you are loved when you are. When you find that love, don't take it for granted in all of its forms. Don't try to make it more than it's supposed to be either. You can't, some people are in your life to give a certain type of love, and other people are in your life to give another type of love. Stop believing the fairy tale that love has one identity and it always acts one way. It don't. You got to figure that, because you don't do that. and it don't do that. So you got to figure out the formula for it in every way of your life so you can recognize it. So when you go through the worst of times, you remember, no, but I got some people who bring me the best of times too. And we're going to be all right. As I put on the vest, the badge of courage, the honor of having some kind of work. And I'll be right back if I don't choose to end this one and start another one. Because what we could just keep giving you to think of what I'm saying here. What did Kendrick Lamar say? We gonna be all right. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gonna be all right. Yeah, we gonna be all right. And I prefer the censored version on purpose. Because, you know, if you know the song for real, you know, I don't need to hear it. I got an N-word quota every day on how much I want to hear that in hip hop or in other parts of life throughout the cultures of my peoples, specifically those who have the license, you know, born with the card to carry, to say it if you want to, with all that, you know, all that. Because there's no debate about who can say and all that. It kills me with all this young generation dumb conversation about that. There is no debate. If you were not born of, if you've never walked in the complete essence of what it is to be black in this country, it would behoove you to leave that alone. Just leave it alone. I don't care how much it changes generationally and otherwise. Just leave that alone. Because I promise you, it ain't never gonna lose its weight in leave aloneness. Just leave that alone. But I love the lyric though. I love what it, you know, we gonna be all right. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gonna be all right. That's right. We're gonna be all right. And the greatest other thing about the censored version is it speaks to everybody. It doesn't get into any cultural significance to the point where it alienates one or a section of fractions of ones. Because if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, we don't do it for the culture here. We do it for the cultures. With a Z or with a S, that's the hashtag. Yours truly made that. We do it for the cultures. What I mean by that, I say everything you do ain't what I do. Where we intersect, we cross over each other's lanes like the spaghetti junction. Only ATL gonna understand it. And if you don't know, you need to look it up. Hey, ChatGPT, what in Atlanta is spaghetti junction? It'll break it down for you. It'll tell you about them expressways that do this. And more than likely, you got some in your town that do it too, because that's a common thing. I mean, there's more than one example of a spaghetti junction, but there's only one true spaghetti junction in the ATL Metro. And when I was a kid, I used to just love that name because they would always bring it up on the news, you know, and with your young mind, you would hear spaghetti, and I'm thinking of food always, of course, you know. So it bring a smile to my face because I'm thinking, oh, I used to love spaghetti, right? And then, you know, but I'm like, why are they talking about food, but they're talking about traffic? It used to be like, huh? You know, that child imagined mind, you know. Then I got old enough to understand what they were really talking about. And I said, oh, man. And it made all the sense. And it was a great metaphor. It was perfect for what it was describing and how it looks from a helicopter. Because that's how the news is reporting it. It'd be like, you know, the chopper news perspective up in the air, looking at all the jams and traffic at various times of day, especially that 5 o'clock hour, all that kind of thing, you know. Yeah. But y'all, I'm telling you, man, if you woke up this morning, that's the first part. You know how older folk tell you that quick. They say if you woke up this morning, you're breathing and you can still talk or do something for yourself, you ahead of so many other people in this world. You need to know you're blessed. Universe blessed. That's mine right there, okay? Because I'm not religious. The one is all, the uni, as all, one is all, the universe. I'll give you some etymology right now. See, a lot of y'all don't study etymology at any point in your life, but you're just saying words. Very dangerous, very dangerous. Because those who understand the meanings of words will always, I repeat, always control those who do not. They will always have leverage. And they can manipulate you with words because they know the true meanings of words. And so you don't have to have that ill intent to know these things. You can use wisdom and knowledge for the betterment of all. You just got to believe that it is possible that the world could be a better place if everybody knew more. If each one teach one, if everybody were edutained, not just entertained. That's what we get you here. We edutain. You ain't hit that subscribe button by now. What in the world? What more do I have to say? What more brilliance do I have to give you for you to realize where you at and what this could do for you on a daily basis to check in and check out with books of knowledge and factoids and things to go and research and understand about this world. So let's get into some other topics, y'all, because I like to freestyle when I go live. That's what I do. It helps me brainstorm, but for new content, helps me give y'all info about content already published, helps me to formulate the next move on the chessboard, and I do play. So it ain't just no phrase. I can laugh at people who say, it's chess, not checkers. I'll be like, do you know either game? Some of y'all don't even know how to play checkers good. So how dare you mention chess? Like, the blasphemy. Don't even mention chess. And your ass can't even play a decent checkers game. Like, seriously. Like, I do both quite well, but chess is my baby. Oh my God, I play every day. Did you hear what I said? I play every day since last year. I started back hardcore last year training, and I just didn't stop. It became a habit I like to do. It's like, yeah, it became part of my routine. Like, I may miss a day every now and then, but on average, I'm gonna play 5 times a week. I play chess on I play with the app called, and this is not an advertisement, by the way. I just like the app, so I don't mind sharing it because I like being on there and playing the world. You literally play against people all over the world, but it's chess with friends. And I like the color scheme of it because most chess apps are boring as hell. I mean, even this one could be on the border of being boring, but it's not because they made it colorful and interesting. They used aqua blue, which is or hues of aqua blue. That Caribbean water blue. Well, there's no one Caribbean water blue. You got the greenish tone, you got the turquoise rich, you got the teal, you got that solid, like, oh my gosh, royal blue when you out there in the deep, which blows my mind that it is so blue like that. I absolutely love that water. Being in the Caribbean just, man, it works for my soul. I have to live in the Caribbean at some point in my life. We're gonna talk about some of that if I get to it too. That's one of my favorite topics, the expat life and the possibility thereof, and the adventure spirit and travel and all of that, right? But yo, I love that color scheme. So they use that, and it's one of your options. Like when you pick how your pieces look, you can make them look wooden, like almost. You can make them look like marble, like almost. Solid black, solid white, that cream color versus like caramel brown. What else they got? And then I think that's it for the pieces. But then with the board, you can do solid black and white checkerboard. You can do the aqua, dark, like a teal color and white. And then the color going around the screen is like that aqua, teal, turquoise and all that. Love it. Absolutely love it. These are some of my favorite colors. So psychologically, it makes me feel good. This is color therapy, by the way. I told y'all I'm a visual artist, and I'm every other type of artist too. I'm an artist in every sense of the word. So it would behoove you, one of my words again, it would behoove you to get that in your life. Like every day when you get dressed, that's why I say ONYXCON style, how we get into that. And it's not just dress and clothes too, it's your whole environment. Like, try to keep colors around you that liven your spirit. When people ask you, what's your favorite colors? That's real. And it shouldn't be one thing per se, because you're going to have to deal with more than one color in life and environments. So if you have a few that, you might, have you ever noticed too that when people say, what's your favorite color? And they'll say, well, my favorite color is green. And you'll look at them while they're saying it, and not one thing on them is green, right? Now this is common. I'm much the same. Like one of, because I don't have one favorite color. One of my favorite colors is purple, and all range hues of purple. I love purple. Okay, so purple's easily at the top of a list, but it's right next door to a whole bunch of other colors I like too, right? So you may not see me wearing purple every day. Matter of fact, you might not see me wearing it a lot on average, because most of my stuff that's purple is like my fanciest stuff or my favorite stuff. So I don't wear it every day when I gotta, pick up a bunch of packages that might have dirt and box dirt and stuff like that. I'm doing this courier work thing. I don't want my stuff messed up, you know what I'm saying? So I save my favorite colors for favorite days. It's like that pair of shoes, you ain't gonna wear it until it's a special occasion. You ain't even gonna put them things on unless it's worthy of the eyes that will be in the room. You want the right crowd. You don't want to be around no goofies that don't even understand why it's fly. And somebody said, what are those? What is your face in your brain? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't talk about people's, that's them. They doing them, you know what I'm saying? Somebody, you tease each other, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, you go in environments where it's going to be uplifted and appreciated. Or where it might not get nothing said, thank goodness, because that's better even still. Just leave people the hell alone out here these days, especially. But I'm saying, if you do get any words, it's going to be all compliments because you in your fresh. You just know you in this my what I'm gonna put that on, you know what I'm saying? As they be saying that these days. I put it on, I put that, Well, guess what? I got a lot of fits like that. And I just shared some of them with y'all here, Like, this right here is just a favorite hat. I made this hat. Now let me put this, and then I got my pins. That's Mortal Kombat. Get over here, Scorpion. Scorpion wins. And then I got Metroid. Take it back to Metroid. What you know about that? You know what I'm saying? That's just stuff that's nostalgia for me from being a gamer. And then this here was just a patch I found online that I thought was dope. I love great embroidery and stuff that is nicely done with embroidery. And it was a tiger. And so I'm rocking my HBCU family homage because I got a lot of family that went there. I did not attend or go to that school, but I've been on the campus many times and I got a lot of roots there with people I know and love. So shout out Tuskegee in Tuskegee, Alabama. Okay, the Tuskegee Institute. Shout out HBCU, Historically Black College and University. Yes, it is. And all the HBCUs, shout out. Like I said, I didn't attend the HBCU, but I love to represent regardless because I got them in my family and I know a lot about them. And I know what it means to the cultures, as we say here, right? So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they are the tigers. So that's why I was going with that. They are the tigers. So I got this, Japanese inspired samurai tiger type vibe. Tigers, you know what I'm saying? Let's get, you put it all together, man. It be speaking, I'm saying something here. But I purposefully wore this today because I needed something. I love yellow. Yellow's one of my favorite colors too. All so many, I ain't gonna say all, but a lot of different hues of yellow I love. From golds to whether it's iridescent shiny show enough gold to flat colors to goldenrod, canary yellow, mustard yellow, all that. So like today I needed some yellow in my life. I needed that to live for a part of my spirit that was touched by something that didn't even happen to me, but it affected somebody I care about. And I was like, damn, it's like, so I didn't want to wear certain colors that don't necessarily make me feel like remembering the other side of the coin. As I started when I spoke on this conversation, I said, yo, you got to keep that phrase in mind, yo. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. But the bottom line is it ain't going to stay the worst of times. It's got to be the best of times at some point too. So no matter what is going on, do not fall into depression. And the people who are holding you close, hug them tighter. Because they got you. They there for that reason. They there for you. Come into people's lives for a reason. You hear me? You really do. You really do. And that's just, I have, I forget what that test is. It's like the Myers-Briggs test. And then there's the other one similar to the psychological test. And it gives you the letters for your personality. Or the one gives you the letters. I think that's the Myers-Briggs. And then there's another one that's still based on that same kind of thing. And it just gives you an archetype. And it's a certain title. So whenever I did mine, I'd always get the Guardian. And I was like, yeah, that works. That's that hero in me. That's that superhero, Yep, that's hero. That's what that do. That's what that do, y'all. It's like some people can relate. If you can relate, hit the comments. Let me know you in the Justice League. You are better yet, because I'm more of a Marvel head. You an X-Man. You know what I'm saying? You an X-Man. You an X-Lady. The X-peoples, the X-folks, the X-us. we the mutants. Team, squad. Let's come together. Like, Suicide Squad. Flash. I like Suicide Squad too. I'm just naming some of my favorite comic book concepts for teams. The Avengers, of course. Come on. But I'm gonna be real. Like when you talk comic talk now, I like the Avengers and all that, but Avengers was never really my thing as much. I respected it growing up on comics, but if I had to list like my favorite teams in Marvel and who were the best, it was always the mutant teams. It starts with X-Men, period. Just X-Men, and I appreciate the classic X-Men, the original members and all that, but it wasn't as cool as it could possibly be until you add in Wolverine and just that whole squad, you know, Wolverine, Colossus, who else was on that team? Storm, of course. My man who was the Native American, was it Thunderbird is his name, I think. I really like that character. I never thought they did enough with him. I really liked that character and thought he should have stayed around longer and been more to the team and stuff like that. Who else? Nightcrawler was up in there at that point, for sure. Nightcrawler. Who else? Oh, I'm not talking about Jean Grey. You know what I'm saying? Phoenix. All of that. So that whole squad, when it was like that, Havoc was on that team. Yeah. That was probably like my first beloved X-Men team. And then the New Mutants. I love the New Mutants. Like Sunspot, that's my dude. That was like he the coolest. That was the coolest young New Mutant to me. Like he was Brazilian. He had that power of the sun. I was like, this dude is cool as hell. He turned into, Sunspot. Man, Sunspot was the truth. He was the truth. Pure power. I like when they introduced my girl Magic. I like her even in there. That's probably my favorite character to use. Definitely my favorite character. She's the easiest and the smoothest and the most lethal on as far as general. Because I like some other characters on it, but on Marvel Rivals, the video game, hell yeah, that's my girl. She badass. Magic is the she is the one. You wanna make them scared when she show up. It cracks me up when you play with Magic. I don't care who they got. They got fear Magneto. I don't fear Magneto. Then that's a little line. He said, fear Magneto. Or you got old crazy Moon Knight be getting folk blasting them all over the place. But and that damn shark, that baby shark, Lord, that shark get on my freaking nerves. But when I tell you, if you know how to play Magic, like I've learned how to play with her really good, folk be running. They be like, some folk will challenge you because they mad because they know how good she is. So they trying to knock her out. They'll team up on her. They'll be always 2 or 3 of them against you, trying to get you out of there because they know, man, if we let this one go, he gonna wipe us out with her. Because it's just one of them characters. If you know how to swing that sword right and just don't stop moving, you gonna slay the board. You gonna be taking fools out. Double kill, it's like you gonna be, yeah, for real. So yeah, y'all, I'm on random topics mode, like I told y'all, but speaking of many things that make a brother happy, keep the spirits high and everything like that, because it gets real interesting out here. Like I said, you gotta do things to keep yourself right. You gotta use the color thing. You gotta, keep people, most importantly, in your life that are on the up and up, good spirit, righteous energy. Your family and friends that you can count on, man. Keep folk close. Because when the ish hit the fan, man, when you're dealing with all this craziness in the world, you need them reminders that ain't the only way we all existing. Like right now, I'm waiting on an order. People still, regardless of all this crazy war and other nonsense in the world that don't need to be happening, but it is, people still ordering groceries. People still scrounging up enough money to get groceries and packages delivered. Not as heavy as it was in other months. I can tell you that from experience, like for real. It's not, you can feel the drying up of it. Like there will be days where, man, I would have had this many orders by now. I would have done this. It ain't quite like that right now. It's still happening, but you can see the difference. You can see the difference. You can see the impact of this crazy economy and all this negative news every day. People don't function well in that. And even the fools who think they support it, that are affected by it, in denial about that being the reason why it's so crazy, they starting to feel it. Well, I tell you, this will take it forever, but we're gonna get to it. So, I think I got more time to talk to y'all then. That's all that says. Right? We're gonna be productive with this time. Like I say, even I need to remind myself constantly. It was the best of times. That's the part we're gonna live on. It was the worst of times. Cause somewhere it's gonna be the worst. But your goal gotta be, let me figure out every single possible way to keep myself in the best of times. So when you hear people talking about no negative energy, that's not just something cute to say, because some people, will hear that and get mad. They don't want to hear that and they don't like that because nothing in their life seems to ever be good. So they just want to be like, man, I don't want to hear old positive ass shit. That ain't how it is. It's always messed up. Everything gonna be great. No, no, Now you can live a life of mostly prosperity, and I ain't talking about money, because you gotta first live by respect, then power, then money, and you'll find that whether with or without money, people respect you. And that's true power. So when money comes along, it's just a cherry on the top. And like I always say all the time, I say this all the time, I don't know, I'll be wanting to know who's listening sometimes. I really do be wanting to know. That's why I say hit the comments. If you got some sense in your head, your brain is working, you're not just, if you're a troll, you can't say nothing, no way. We got everything up to block that nonsense. But if you got good intentions and you just want to say something, please do. I want to know that y'all are feeling this energy when I share these wisdoms, because I'm serious, y'all. I'm serious. I am a living testament to things that go better if you just hang in there. But I also can vouch for the fact, yes, stuff will swing crazy other ways too. But if you already started on the better side of things, I don't know if you ever heard the phrase, the way things start is typically the way they end. So if the way something started was on the good energy, or better said, because we ain't gonna deal with so much good and bad, because I always say that's objective. People say, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Look at results. Look at receipts. And if you're seeing really poor results and poor receipts, that's dysfunctional. The only thing that matters in life is living according to this is some more gospel from ONYXCON, okay? It's more the gospel. Live in function over dysfunction. That's it. Function over dysfunction, period. Good and bad is objective. Everybody's opinion of that. That ain't got nothing to do with that. A fool could be doing the worst thing anybody could ever do. And if everybody around him does the same thing, they ain't gonna never criticize each other. They're gonna say, yeah, man, what's wrong with that? What you talking about? They're gonna get mad when something else opposite shows up. Man, and even the fact that, and the only people who get mad about what everybody else is doing is people who are not quite sure if what they're doing is functional. They don't even understand the definition of functional. They've only lived around dysfunction. They've only understood dysfunction their whole life. So it seems completely normal. What are you talking about? And they're frustrated because don't remind me that there's a possibility that somebody else didn't live my pain. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that nobody didn't have to struggle like I had to struggle. I don't want to hear that somebody didn't have this, that, and the other bad things happening to them. No, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to face that. Yo, you can find ways, or you can focus, because when you start focusing on other ways, functional ways, respect first, you'll see that the energy will change. You'll see that people treat you differently, no matter how their education, no matter how tough and crazy their reality is and how they are. They'll just be like, yo, you cool, man. I don't even know why, but I want to respect you and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see that. Or, the nutty person that normally would be giving you a hard time and whatever, it won't be that way, because you're coming with a demand for respect and you're giving respect. Respect first gonna always rule that equation. Even when something happens, you're like, well, what about when it just goes haywire, even though you did everything right? Even still, the universe is always watching. Your report card is clean, and it's gonna reflect that. The universe will not forget that you put in the positive energy. And it's just karma. It's going to pay you back what you put in. You gonna get the wisdom and the love and the knowledge and the best of everything eventually at some point. And you got to be clear on where you want that deposit to go. Because some people don't see it because they may, you ever heard some people say they really are living for other people in their life. Some parents, and I get it. I am not a parent, but I am an uncle, and I can kind of understand that philosophy. When people start becoming selfless, or, maybe I didn't reach all my goals, but I just want everything for my kids, everything for them children. I just want them to do. So sometimes when they did something right and they get their blessing back, that energy, when in the back of their mind, they still want to enjoy some fruit of their own labor for themselves, it happens for the kids, or it's a situation where it can only benefit the kids. And they say, well, why the hell? Because you're pushing the energy that way. It ain't to say, and you can push it both ways. You can say, hey, I definitely always want to look out for my kids if you were a parent, but you also better make sure you're good. Okay? If you ain't good, you can't do, you need to be all right. Oh man. Yeah, that heat out there is other. It's that other. Woo woo woo. You feel like you literally feel like you're standing on a grill getting cooked. It's that kind of heat. It is that kind of heat. Oh man. But but it's what kind of heat you want. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, keep yourself in the mind state of, look, once you know what you want out of life, no matter what is happening, no matter who else is going through something, you be there to whatever capacity you can be. And you got to keep yourself in mind always, like I was just talking about, the parent that are giving everything. But if you're taking care of yourself, man, you may as well not be doing everything for the kid, because you're going to die, and then the kid's going to be left with all the you left too soon, you should have been here, but you had these health things that came from all the stress. And the sad part about it, it's not even people's fault a lot of time. You got tons of good people doing the right thing by the functional thing. Like I told you, there are different perceptions of good and bad, but the function, it don't win. Function and dysfunction, it's easy to decipher what that is. And so they're doing all the best, functional things, but in the same time, with the society is dysfunctional, when the ruling class of a nation is dysfunctional, whew, boy, I tell you, them sirens be just, I don't even want them to come on, but they be right there when I say certain things, right on time for what I'm talking about. I just, wow. Anyway, like I say, when a society itself, its leadership, when those folk at the top and all the corporate stuff that goes on different levels, and most of it's so damn corrupt and crazy, and this warmongering mentality and all this crazy, man, look, you're gonna have stressed out people, you're gonna have dysfunctional people, because it's a trickle-down effect. It's a domino effect. If the top is that messed up, it's going to be messed up at the bottom. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we've been dealing with. This ain't just started. This has been generational, but it's at a peak. It's at a peak, y'all. And then we all got to pay the cost, because like I say, you got plenty of functional people who are doing good with right intentions. They get out here, they work an honest living, they're doing all they can. Or maybe they get in the wrong relationship with the wrong fool that messes their life up. Disrespects what should be in their life. Oh my goodness. Breaks their heart in ways that can't be mended. The lucky ones get proper therapy and they recuperate. They don't live in their trauma. They know of it and they let it be. They turn the cuts into armor. And they survive. And if they're surrounded with enough or the energy that reflects who they always were, that was positive and sweet and good, yo, they become what they supposed to be, and not the forced, you know, hateful, angry individual that they could become if they let all the societal stuff get to them. Because that's what it does. That's what the system, the matrix, all the words you can say, that's what it does. It breaks people down to the point where they just say, you know what, man, I'm tired of losing. Or y'all ain't gonna give me, well, I'm gonna take it. And that's a dangerous way right there. Because once it's set in, once it's like, I don't care who else hurt, I ain't gonna hurt no damn more. Boy, oh boy. It's scary. It's scary. That right there, can't reason with it, you know? It's that breaking point shit. So that's what a lot of people out here be dealing with, man. That's why the news look like it look, all the killing and the craziness and the drugs and all that stuff is, people ain't born wanting to do all that mess. Ain't no baby came out asking for no damn gun or no drug. No, they want some milk and some love. That's it. Feed me, love me. Period. Every baby I ever knew. Shit. And can't nobody lie and say, oh no, I was crazy when I was, but yeah, okay. You got your fantasy that because life been so messed up, you think you was always insane in the membrane. No, you could be born with a defect or deficiency, but that still didn't make you not, you may have craved those two things I just said in a different way of expression that other children don't, but that don't mean you still didn't want the same thing that all of them need and want. Period. Ain't no way around it. It's nature, y'all. You can't argue with nature. You can theorize all the hell you want. You cannot argue with nature. You cannot. You cannot. It don't matter what you do. It don't matter what you say. It don't matter. Nature will rule you because it is you. We're not just hanging out with nature. I'm going to go into nature. That's what I say all the time when I talk about ONYXCON outdoors worldwide. It's a huge concept. When I talk about ONYXCON fitness, it's a huge concept. When I talk about all the elements of ONYXCON and how I tell you can integrate this creative existence, this way into your life and live a better life, it's a huge concept. I'm just the vessel. I'm here to deliver it. And I'm not alone. We are many. We are legion. This is ONYXCON. All my real ones, they already here. They've been here. Generations deep before YouTube, way before YouTube. I got many. I got ancestral. Since the beginning of time. You understand what I'm saying here? Y'all got to understand the levels. So we're not begging for nobody to understand this. We just want more people to get it so that the world can be better. You either do or you don't. It ain't gonna be for everybody, unfortunately. It is the way, as the Mandalorians say. This is the way. This is the way. But if there's no order, no respect, no nothing about the way you were raised and how you work, you never, unfortunately, so sad to hear it, you'll never understand. But if there's an inkling of spark, of something in you that says, whoa, 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 Dad, I like that. Wait a minute. That's what I was looking for. It would behoove you. Hit that subscribe button. Look around. Because it's going to come in many different forms, many different ways, and it's going to have a lot of different frequencies. It's going to be all kind of energy. But when you sum it all up, you're going to say, boy, now that was a fulfilling meal. That had some nutrition in it. That was edutaining. That was edutaining. That was not a waste of my time today. Even when it's wacky and fun and all over the place and kind of crazy sometimes, because we can go there too. But it's still gonna make sense, because it's like, yo, you gotta loosen up sometimes. Shit, it's too tight. It's too much. You gotta let the pressure out. Y'all you better laugh. You better do something wacky, fun, and crazy. Just don't hurt nobody. Okay, hey, respect first. Respect, man. Respect. 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 So I can't say it enough ways, you know what I mean? I cannot say it enough ways. But that's the bottom line, the essence of it all, y'all. And the more and more people are getting that, that's why people are, you know, when I talk about the travel thing all the time and how much that's a passion for me, and when I say how I'm pushing openly the expat concept and say, look at, you know, do the research I'm doing, like look into that, look at what's available as options of living on the earth, one with the rest of nature. Not just I'm over here, that's over there, maybe I'll see it in a life. No, like start considering like, yo, could I be somewhere else most of my year on regular? You ain't never got to give up your citizenship. Don't never let this country, for all of the benefits that the monsters at the top that don't deserve it got out of the rest of us, milking us dry. And I do mean everybody that is out here busting your ass with 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and whatever many jobs, school loans you can't pay back, jobs that won't give you a raise and never were gonna give you one. And when they do, it don't matter because the cost of living goes up to the point, it's like everything stays the same, just with a different number. But just psychologically, you're supposed to tell yourself, oh, it's better because I'm in the land of plenty. I'm in America. Man, stop the bullshit. Chicago. Bullshit. It's bull. It's bull, baby. You know it too. You already know. I ain't gotta. You feel it when you look at your reality. You know, sometimes I know we all just kind of, you know, want to do the thing they say that ostrich bury his head in the sand. You want to just put your head in the hole and just like, let me just pretend it's not what I think it all is. But no, what you know it is. You see, you know what it is. You know what it is. You know how on the edge this whole world is right now politically. You know how on the edge everybody's economy is right now. And like I say all the time, for all those fools who live by, you know, they talk about money, power, respect. Bullshit. I told you about it, the better way to be it. You better flip that thing over. You better get it in right. You better say respect, then power, then money. You better learn. Because one power outage, one too many countries say we ain't sending no more barrels of oil, plus an outage, which by the way, all that's tied together. Because some of the machinery and everything, people just think of gas and they think of their car and that's it. Do you know how many things work off of petroleum as an entity, as a capital, something of exchange that is so valuable? Do you understand it's not just about your damn vehicle, your freaking transit, your public transit? It ain't about just buses moving and cars and you rolling around in the whip. You know, you flipping it in the whip, man. Do you understand your flashy ass will be at home? And don't let another damn pandemic happen. Oh my gosh, I didn't want to go there, but I'm just going to say that. Just don't let that ever happen again. Shit. Under these circumstances, but you got so much money, you think you can buy your way into how you want people to treat you all the time, buy your way into treating everybody like the help, and acting like nothing matters but how you move and what you want to do and how flying flossy you are. Y'all deserve the ass whooping that's coming. I'm sorry to say it. It's just that karma's so. And I'm not even saying it like see, people misconstrue your words if they see you get fly. Like I told you earlier, I love to get fly. And I got my pieces, if you will, in fashion, as they say. I got plenty of cool gear and clothes and things, and what some of it were gifts. But things I could not afford then, still can't afford now. In the American dollar. But see, that's what I'm talking about respect. When you know how to maneuver with people where they gain so much respect for you, man, they're like, man, I'm gonna send you one of those. Because you've built enough energy and worth about you and value about you because of the essence of the dignity and functional wisdom you share. That's worth it. You can't put a dollar amount on it. And those who realize that, man, I am so honored to be your friend, and what I have to sell and offer, whatever my resources are, you are always open to it. When I can afford to get one to you, I will. And this is literally how it works for me with a lot of that kind of stuff. And outside of that, then the other part of my mentality that changed many years ago from being in the film biz was just simply starting to understand. I got out of my ego of thinking everything had to be fresh out the box, out some plastic, snapping a label off and everything like that. No, let me just keep moving, because I gotta go to the Goodwill and I gotta shop happily and proudly at the discount stores that y'all see me when I do the videos for the shoes and everything. And y'all see the sticker, y'all know that's Ross or Ross. Oh Lord have mercy. That guy, he's funny. So I have to do that whenever I think of Ross. He did brand himself. I give him that. He's a branding genius. He knows how to brand. Ross knows how to brand him. I don't like what he's about in the essence of his music and how he got famous. No, I don't like drug dealing kingpin culture as promoting that like some, royal, this is supposed to be black excellence. No, that's not black excellence. That's just a result of you figured out a way to hustle the system, and it panned out. It worked out. But one thing I know about, if you swim in the cess and you base your success on the cesspool, as we can see with so many others, man, too many things can come for you and take it all away. Because you didn't just get it out the mud, you was muddy. So, there's that speculation that, well, it's all a front anyway, it's just a character. I really hope it is. I really hope it is, because I would like to think that he could, at some point, break character, so to speak. I'm an actor, so I understand the concept of real acting. Right? You're not pretending, you're not lying. You become the character. But that's hard to do when you're a rapper and you expected to be that person all the damn time in real life. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. And that's the problem with that part of hip hop cultures. Because people be over here talking all that rah-rah crazy, I'm thugged out, I'm this, I'm that, and then they gotta prove it in reality. It's like, man, hey. That's why I do respect Too Short, because I'll never forget. To this day, Too Short is one of the only rappers that ever outright said in interviews, man, Shorty the Pimp, Too Short, aka Too Short, Shorty the Pimp, is a character. All that bitch, that's my character. That's how I got paid. I got slick enough with the game. Yeah, I came from the streets. Yeah, I'm respecting the streets. Yeah, I got a lot of homies that's really in that life. And again, respect. They respect him. Not just on money, because he didn't start with money. You ever heard his story? Yo, didn't have the money, got the money from hustling. His mixtapes, his rap tapes of him rapping. And if he ever did get into the game on the illegal stuff that he sometimes talks and alludes to, with real life pimping and all that stuff, put it like this. It's hard to say if it's true or not, because of the way he was honest about saying, look, man, it's a character. I'm playing a role. I saw a gap for something that wasn't at the time as prevalent, and it was a thing. It was always pimp energy and characters in hip-hop music. Okay, but it wasn't to the point where it was flourishing and it was almost like he could have his own subgenre, like pimp rap. And then it became that. And then that was a problem too, because you got all these people who just you're glorifying stuff. And that's where it gets weird. Like, as much as I respect Short, I never really was like the buy an album fan. I just had my couple of tracks I like. To this day, I'm just like, I like that one, I like this one, I like that one. All right, we're gonna leave it at that. He came out with his new one, okay, that's a bop, I like it. Period. E40, 40 Water. Kind of similar, because 40 like pimpish, but he's supposed to be the hustler that alludes to being this crack dealer. He makes no qualms about it. He done made mention of it like Jay-Z has, and so many other rappers always talking about dealing crack and all this. I don't approve of that bullshit. Hell no. But I like artistry, I like poetry. I like people taking a bad situation figuring out a way to make lemonade out of lemons. You know, I just don't like when mofos want to throw it in your face once they get it, once they get rich, and tell everyday people who out here working these legit jobs that don't pay, that somehow they're ignorant, simple, and stupid, or square and all the other street terms, because we ain't out here banging and slanging, pimping and tricking, and we just getting it legit. We grew up in the time when all that stuff was popular, so we liked the music because it was all around us and it was in parts of the cultures that we grew up around and things we knew. So we accepted it, and we got tired. You start realizing, man, damn, we're gonna get just a handful of folks who might reflect our real true energy in this life, the real true what people call blurs now. When black nerd culture really rose, and it's like, yeah, you like all this stuff because it was popular, but at the same time, you more appreciate, if you really was deep in the game like me, you went and dug in the crates. You knew about MCs like AC Alone. You know about MCs like Saphir, when you talk about the West Coast, you know what I'm saying? You know about MCs like Poor Righteous Teacher to this day. What? You are a diehard fan of KRS-One to this day. Forever and a day. Much respect, KRS-One. That's my dude. That's my guy right there. Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everybody. The first person I ever heard say edutainment. Do you understand the things that the philosopher, the teacher has shared? Man, nothing but respect for Chris. You know what I'm saying? Chris Parker is the truth, man. KRS-One. You know, Public Enemy, the greatest, most important hip-hop group of all time, of any type of hip-hop. I said it, damn it. That's how we living. If you want to know the mentality of who's speaking to you, I listen to a lot of shit. It's just like, you got your bullshit. Yeah, I got a bunch of bull. I know it's bull. You just gave up and said, well, I ain't bump it. The industry gonna push this stuff out. The A&R is gonna push this stuff out. They trying to push the prison industrial complex. And some people are never gonna be clever enough or create enough of a personal mental filter. I'm gonna say again, create your personal mental filter to be able to listen to this stuff, but not live the nightmare. Don't pretend you wanna be any other crazy that you know is crazy. And put a limit on how much you're gonna drink that and eat that in your ear every day, because you gotta time it, man. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It can be way too much. You can overload on the junk food. You've got to have more real nutrition in your diet. It's a mandatory element. Please believe it. Please believe it. That's from Bilal, R&B legend. Ride or die for you, for you. Ride or die for you. But I'm gonna have to listen to that after I get out here with y'all. That's one of my. But yeah, y'all, it's all conditioning. Every day it's mental conditioning, like literally. And I'm convinced that if a place gets too mentally exist on your best frequencies, you've got to look at options. And you got to make it common. And there's more and more people ready to go. And these fools know that. Which is why they're creating such bad relationships with other countries that people want to have investments in and live in and everything. Because if they're not with the program of all this damn psychotic, and that's what it is, because it don't apply to all, but for those who are lost in that sauce, the hit dog can holler, we stepping on them toes. This white supremacy BS, for those who ain't with the program, it's block on that country and this country and that country, and a few countries and folks where their people would be considered under the constructs of white, but it don't matter, because if they're not with the program of that type of mentality of it, then they putting the blocks up, And it's scary as a traveler, because you're thinking, so what? You telling me, the first thing I looked into when I heard about those, restrictions, Are you telling me a U.S. citizen, if they go there, they ain't gonna be? First of all, can you even go there? Once you're there, if you try to come back, you gonna have problems. Technically, no. But in this crazy ass world, the way things have been going, I'll be real. As a traveler, it's sad to say, I would not even. I mean, most of the places on the list were not necessarily the places I want to go anyway. But in some cases, yeah, like South Africa. You kidding me? Hell yeah, I want to see South Africa. I want to go to Cape Town. I want to see the coast. Hell yeah, I want to see that. But like, do you know that there's gonna be like a little weird stench and energy or funkiness in the air when you get to that damn? Let me see your passport, sir, or ma'am, you know, whoever. And they looking at your stuff. And so, what is your reason for wanting to go to South Africa? Shit, vacation, man. Is that all? What else you do? What else do? What else? Like more and more, and then because of all this mess, more countries got new visa restrictions, got more rules on whether or not, like Thailand. You know, Thailand been a playland for folk in Southeast Asia for the longest. And I can't blame them for putting up some rules to keep the riffraff out. But it's hurting the good people who ain't riffraff. We just, hey man, we respect your culture already. We love your cultures already. I've been studying Thailand all my life. I'm not saying I know languages. I know a few basic terms I hear all the time when I watch YouTube videos and stuff. Swadika, you know. Kapkumka, you know, I know some things, that basic stuff that everybody say, but I'm saying I am not by any means pretending that I know it all, but I never could even if I lived there. I'm saying I've been respecting so many parts of the culture, from the food to things like Muay Thai to all the ancient kingdoms and the beauty of the arts in general. Just, man, you talking about an abundance of amazing art. I just said the food, okay? I just said the martial arts. I mean, yo, you can add everything else in there. Those temples, the sculptures, the carving skills, man. These are some of the most amazing carvers on the planet. Period. You know? Like stuff like that. I want to see it. I got to see it. I'm going to see it. And I don't want the stench of politics. Like my Rasta them say, all the Rastafari and them say. Tricks, man. It's not politics, it's politics. I don't want that involved in our process of enjoying and meeting the rest of the world. I just want pure love and good times, all the way it's supposed to freaking be. So we got to defend ourselves, man. Everybody who's, you know, the real ones, yo, like George Clinton said, shoot them with them bop gun. Endangered species. Do you know who you are if you weren't? Endangered species. If you don't know the song, go look it up. Endangered species. Parliament Funkadelic. Endangered species. See, when you know, you gotta find your team, man. Y'all gotta protect each other, man. Everybody who that proper righteous frequency. You know you on the righteous frequency. You gotta look out. Because obviously, the demons is looking out for each other. So what the hell are you doing for each other? Y'all got to look out for each other. That's how it go. There's all these teams out here. Which side of history are you on?